Yeah.
We
Welcome
back.
to another edition of the Views from the Friend Zone podcast. Our first episode for 2020. You know what I'm saying? So blessings to everybody out there. We be going for a little while, but we back. You know, we got family in the building.
We
A lot of
back.
newbies been on the show a
back.
couple of times. Shout out to Greedy Gut with the little butt. She's celebrating her little boy's birthdays. You know what I'm saying?
We
Shout
miss
out
you
to
that
Cliff.
she
Cliff
left me
had
here
to
by
hold it
myself.
down. Had to hold it down for work and all that stuff like that. But, you know, we going to hold it down. Like I said, you know, 2020 is a big year. You know, 2020 means perfect vision. 2020, so we're going to come here with pure insight, see what's new. And I feel like God is trying to make us do different things and change certain paths. So I wish blessings upon everybody. You know what I'm saying? How's everybody New Year been so far? So,
Go ahead, Michelle.
you know, but for those who might not know you, even though you're a regular, introduce yourself to the people.
Hi, I'm Nichelle, a.k.a. known as Miss Nook.
Miss Nook.
Miss Nook.
Yes.
It's Open Shirt Poppy, baby. I'm
Yes.
back for
Yes,
2020.
Real talk
Wait,
more
we gotta
as
shout out-
always, you know
You
what I'm
gotta shout out
saying?
the shirts, man.
Oh,
You gotta
you see,
shout out the
he's
shirts,
wearing the
yo,
Views from the
logo.
Friend Zone shirt, you know what I
Let me see
mean?
that. Let me see
I-
that.
I was waiting for everybody to
see
be.
it.
Yeah, I was waiting for everybody to be in the studio to wear mine. So I
No,
wear
you
mine
know, I
next
had
week.
to rock it. I had to rock
You
it.
know
The
what I
first
mean?
show
But,
back
You know,
I need one of those
for
shirts,
2020.
yeah, I'm gonna work on getting more done. I'm gonna work on getting more done. But like, you know, before we jump into the regular show, I wanted to talk about something that's been a hot topic item across the board, and it's twofold, right? Even though we're gonna have our regular scheduled show with topics, I wanted to talk real quick. We gotta address the Lonnie Love thing. I know you've heard different takes from different people about it. I felt we need to address it ourselves also because it's just like Lonnie Love was talking about, well, black men don't know how to be faithful in relationships. They got money and power and they let it go to their head and stuff like that. The first thing I want to address is for 2020, and I've seen a movement, other people saying it too, and I want to further reiterate it. We got to stop just assassinating our people's character in general. I never, for full disclosure, I always mention this. I married a Latino woman, but I always was dating Haitian, Caribbean, black girls. But I wound up with a Latina. But I say that to say this: you'll never hear me talking shit about black women.
Never.
Shooting down a black woman saying, "Oh, well, that's why I'm with a Latina because ABC." That's bullshit. Your experience is your experience. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
And
men
we
cheat.
humans before anything. Men cheat, women cheat, men lie, women lie.
Exactly.
Don't matter.
Exactly.
You black,
You know what I'm
white,
saying?
purple,
So-
green.
And then also, we also got to keep it a buck, especially when, I'm not tearing Lonnie Love down, but you see Lonnie Love, she built, kind of weird, you know what I'm saying?
tearing her down.
No, hear me out, because I'm
She
built,
went
I'm
in.
built
Yeah.
I'm built like a bad fridge myself. What the point I'm trying to make is, she's saying men got money, got power, and stuff like that. So to me, her mentality was she was chasing a certain kind of men that probably wasn't into her. You got to be honest with yourself. Because when you say black men got money, got power, how much of us really out there with money and power and they're being all just choosy and stuff like that? She's talking about a select population.
Well, she's speaking from other people's experiences.
Exactly.
From what she hears happen to friends or other celebrities that she knows. That can also be a thing, too. She's just tainted by all the bad experiences that she
Yeah.
She is tearing the black men down who have pulled themselves up and become successful. And like anybody, black, white, Latino, whatever, if you have come up and you struggled
You have
and
choices.
didn't have much,
You
right?
have choices.
Yeah, you didn't have those choices. Those same women wasn't checking for you because you ain't have
Exactly.
nothing. So yeah, you get a little money and now you looking better. You looking
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
So you might be making some poor decisions. But I hate the
But it's
fact
not
that
even
she
poor
generalized
decisions.
it to black men.
Yeah.
And said it's, a black man problem. It's
Yeah,
not.
because think about it. Mark Zuckerberg is with an Asian wife, right? I've never heard someone say, "Oh, look at Mark Zuckerberg. He abandoned the white race and now he's with Asian women." Like, we the only people who get caught up with shit like that. You know what I'm saying? When love is supposed to be love. My thing about it is, the media does enough job of tearing us down with everything we do. We don't sit there and make blanket statements, "Oh, black women are too choosy. That's why I can't be with a black woman." No. You know what I'm saying? You got to understand your individual circumstance is your individual circumstance. And at the same time, we don't need more further black narratives of us being like, not appropriate towards each other.
Exactly.
Like,
I was guilty at one point of doing something, I guess you could say similar, and I was characterizing black women as too tough too hard shelled. You know what I'm saying? Hard to get into. And then I even justified it with explaining why they were that way. But it wasn't that necessarily. And it was the ones maybe who I have dealt with, and they had hurt, from previous relationships. But that happens with every woman.
Everyone.
That experience is what you can base on.
They're raised too. They're raised to be tough. They're raised to be that way. It's what they see. So then you also have a different background of how they're being raised. So that is true. That's one of the reasons why some of the men in my life would go ahead and say that they chose women of other nationalities. Not beating down the black women, not saying that they don't love black women. It's just their personal experiences and what they went through. Yeah. But Lonnie Love, that is just, she needs to heal. That was anger.
That was anger.
A lot of it was stories that she heard, she's tainted by. But when I watch some of the clips again, she's just angry and she needs to heal.
And I hope this is not her situation, but I always, when white men sometimes date black women, they fetishize the black woman. I hope she's in a good, healthy, wholesome relationship. I hope it's not a fetish where she's his fetish and stuff like that, and one day he just up and leave her because he's on to something new. I pray for her love and stuff. But to me, it's just,
I hope that white man breaks her heart.
Nah,
I hope he breaks her heart, because then now you got to rethink everything you said and realize it's not a black thing, white thing.
Oh,
it's
they're
man
gonna
thing.
Black Twitter and black Instagram is gonna be on her
her.
ass if they break her.
Charlemagne was on it. Did you hear the comment?
Yeah.
I think it was some.
Yeah. But also, I know people are going to be like, I started off talking about we see Lonnie Love and stuff like that. Like, you got to also understand in life, it's choices. Not everybody who you attracted to is going to be attracted to you.
Right.
I could, like in high school, there was girls that I liked. I'm not going to say it was out of my league, but it's just like I liked a certain amount of girls and they didn't like me. It wasn't an assassination to, black girls was a certain way. I liked a certain situation and they didn't like me back, but the beautiful thing about life is so many different people out there, so you get to choose, you get to pick and choose and stuff like that. When you make a statement like black women, like, look, to me, are black women, I don't think black women are tough. I think black women are strong.
The strongest.
They adapt to a lot. They don't have time for BS. So a lot of times that comes off as tough, but at the same time it's just like, a lot of black women like, like we always say, black women are the most educated segment in this country. They're about their shit. They working, they in school, they raising kids. They don't have time for your BS. So if you're not coming right, a lot of them are just like, I smell your BS and I don't want it. There's nothing wrong with that.
Ebro said it when he was discussing this topic on I-97. He talked about how black men already, when they walk out the door, they already are looked at as not unsuccessful, but the odds are against them.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like they're not believed in as far as their success and what have you. So if anything, when you get home, you want to be treated as a king. Yeah. You don't want to have that person that don't believe in you or believe that you already up to something deceiving. They don't trust you.
They don't trust
you. Know what I'm saying? Because it's like if home can't be your happy place and your safe haven where you can unwind and relax and know that there's love there, then what you gonna do? Because the world is not giving you that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But I got to take what you just said and take it one step further. Black men also need to realize that you want to be a king at home. I respect that, but you got to do king shit too.
Right.
Don't be out here bullshit and expect to be treated as a king at home, because a black woman's not putting up with that. Mm-hmm. Now, if you providing, you taking care of home, you doing what you have to do, a black woman will be proud to big you up. But don't be out here fooling, being sloppy and then expect to be treated as a king at home, and she's paying all the bills, she's taking care of everything. You're not just a king just because you got a penis.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You want to be treated like a king,
sure
you got to
that?
do king shit.
I thought that made you a king.
Nah. But all right, so that was good.
King
addressing
Ding-a-ling.
that, you know what I mean? We got warmed up to get back into our regular flow.
We
so
back,
we're
baby!
topics, right?
I'm hyped right now. It's been a long time.
And it kind of flows with what we was kind of talking about. But the first topic is emotional maturity, right? Because a lot of times it's just like we get older in age, but we don't know how to grow in our ways. We don't mature.
Hit the
We don't
target
learn
right
how to
there.
have communication, right? We just figure, shit,
Communication is
I
key.
always got my way, so I'm always going to be a certain way. No,
No.
that's not how like this works. That's not how any
Hit
of
the
this
target
works.
right
We have to mature. We have to grow. Like, okay, you know, we have, revolutions around this sun. You know, you did it for 365, but if you're not changing your mentality, you're not changing your mindset,
Yeah. Okay.
you're not growing with the times. And we got to be mature about it. And part of that maturity is having tough conversation. So the first question is, are we ready to have conversations with the people that we need to have? Your spouse, your friends, your family. Especially 2020, new decade, new stuff. So what do you feel about that?
Ready to have that real talk.
No, people are not. You really hit the target with that because everybody's on. New year, new me.
That's why I didn't even do all the gym
2020,
thing. I've been in the gym the last
vision.
couple of months. I didn't do I'm gonna be in the gym now because just speak. Let your actions, let your results.
Right. That's something that I wanted to say, and I just really, really been dealing with because everybody's excited. Every year, new me. You have all these goals that you set. Everybody's making vision boards, which is great.
Yeah.
We should do that. We should plan. You should
Yeah, I gotta
have
do a vision
goals.
board, too.
You definitely should. But if you don't do the inner work, like we were just talking about Lonnie, I hate to go back to Lonnie, but there's some inner issues that wasn't dealt with, and that's why she feels that way.
Yeah.
That's why she's still so angry. So new year, new me, having hard conversations, thinking you're ready for the blessings. Oh, the haters, I'm going to get mine. I'm going hard this year. You'll just find yourself in the same cycle that you found yourself last year or the year before that if you don't do the inner work.
Yeah.
Change your mind. So you say maturity. Are you ready to grow?
Yeah.
You got to do the inner work first and then go after those goals. If you don't do the inner work of time management or whatever, your issue is,
That's a
going
big
to the
issue
gym.
for me.
Yeah.
Addre-
Okay.
Addressing
So
your
then
mental health.
2020 is going to just be a cycle if you
doing
don't
better.
work on that,
Doing better.
right? So
No, my thing is, people kill me, especially on the social media. Oh, 2020 or New Year, I'm cutting off this one, I'm cutting off that one. Bruh, why are those people in your circle to begin with? See, I never have to deal with none of that stuff because I don't need to cut off nobody in the new year because if I felt you didn't belong in my circle from jump,
You already been
you
shedding.
already been gone.
Yo,
I keep
sometimes
my
you
circle
find out
small
during the
anyway.
process.
And then-
Sometimes
but-
So you don't
gotta
find out on December 30th or December
No, you-
31st that
I
your
know.
friend
Oh, yeah,
was
yeah,
shaky.
yeah, before the
You
New
know what
Year
I'm saying?
comes.
I'm cutting it
But
off.
it takes time because 2019 was like that for me. I started like everybody keeps saying clear vision, perfect vision, right?
Yeah.
Sort of, kind of. That was what 2019 was.
You had to cut some people
It
off?
was clearing your vision of who's for you, who's not for you. Seeing things about myself that need to change. That when in 2020 is not a repeat. It's not a pattern. Like
Yeah.
I don't repeat, the same bad habits or whatever the case may be. But then sometimes you just need to spend time with somebody for you to realize, you know what, I was trying to give you a shot, but you're not for me. And you don't cut them off December 31st exactly, but sometimes it
But
takes time. for you
another
to
thing we
figure
gotta
it out.
realize is we keep putting the onus on the people around us as being toxic and stuff, and we don't acknowledge that we the toxic motherfucker
I'm
ourselves.
trying to say that the inner work.
You know
That's
what
what
I'm
I'm
saying?
saying.
And so-
I'm not accepting that.
Nah, but sometimes
You gotta do
it's
what-
you.
you gotta
Sometimes
check
you're so stuck in
yourself.
your
You saying
own
you
ways.
toxic in your friendship?
No,
or
I'm just saying
relationship,
sometimes.
That could be the case.
Sometimes
Everybody don't know
you
how to
putting
be
the
a friend.
onus of everybody being, people are toxic or people being in certain ways. But sometimes you gotta you gotta look in the mirror and realize how much do I bring to the table? How much of it is me not acknowledging the self work that I need to do?
Yes,
Well,
I'm with you.
Some people always say, "Oh, everybody always do me wrong." Oh, everybody
Because
always do
then
you
that
wrong.
2020 perfect vision stuff goes out the window because you're gonna find yourself in the same cycle.
But this is my thing. I'm always willing to have that real talk, right? So, as far as speaking up in 2020 or telling it like it is, I don't have to do that. I do that in general. That's just who I am.
Yeah,
I don't need a new year, new whatever. I'm just gonna tell you what it is when I feel like it. But as far as I do know, there's things I gotta correct with myself. But I feel I'm a great friend, great person to have, part of your family, a great support system. That's what I do. And like I said, I keep a small circle. So those who aren't suitable to be in that circle, they've already been eliminated. You know what I mean?
And I think the major point that I want to make with this topic is have these conversations. Don't assume people know that they need to do better by you. don't assume your spouse knows that shit is really bothering you just because you go, you huff and puff at home. Have these awkward
The huff and
conversations.
puff. That's the
You know
female
what I'm saying?
thing.
Rolling your eyes, sucking
No,
your
no,
teeth,
I'm
and
getting
all that.
better
You know what
at
I'm
that
saying?
to
Are
say-
you a huff and puffer?
Because it's like you think that he would know or something, but no, he doesn't. He's completely clueless. You have to say,
But
well,
instead
you
of
know,
huffing and puffing, say, I need to talk to you.
No, I
Yeah.
don't even get to the huff and puff. I'll let it build up, and then
Nah, that's
Oh,
not
then it
good.
gets
That's
crazy.
not good. Because one, we waste time.
then I'm
Two,
just going off, and it's like, what you going off
You
about?
talking
Exactly.
about something from
you
6
could
months
y'all
ago.
could have a
I thought
discussion
you would've
about
realized
something
I
on
let it
level
go 3
two.
times, and then by the 4th time, it's like. Pop, 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 pop. It's like,
But you see, if you had the conversation when something's at level 2, it's more effective than you wait till level 5, where it's like, shit, we about to break up over some shit that it could have been shit out.
That's what I'm
That's
learning.
that's what part of
That's
growth
what I'm
is.
learning.
Part of growth is like, yo, it's not necessarily about being brave and doing crazy shit. It's about knowing yourself and doing things. Like if something don't sit right on your spirit, right? Talk that shit. Forget the
Okay.
argument or I'm afraid to upset that person. Nah, F that, because as soon as you let it go, it's resolved. You either know it is or it isn't, and you move on. A lot of times we build up. It's funny. I'm seeing couples that have been together for like 30 years. They raise their kids and stuff like that. Now they're getting divorced. I'm thinking to myself,
They build
you
up.
put 30 in the game. Why you leaving now? And like, yo, and not to be mean, but you 60 something, 70 something, and you getting divorced now.
That's crazy to me. But
Like,
it's
yo, you
happening.
got, if God
today,
bless you, you
though,
got
it's
another
different
10,
at 60
15. You
It's
let so much of
different
your
at
life
60.
go.
They think they 40. And, you
That's
know,
the problem.
That's the problem. The 60-year-olds today is different.
Yeah, but my thing about it is like, yo, why? Like, to me, it's just crazy. How do you let it get for that long? To me, it's,
Sometimes it's hard. It's hard to talk. Like I said, I'm learning how to communicate instead of thinking that a person can read my mind and knowing what I want from them. You have to say, hey, you know, it's not what you say, it's how you say it,
yeah.
and kind of, you know, just communicate. But sometimes, not sometimes, there's a lot of times that it'll make you uncomfortable, and then you don't want to make the other person uncomfortable. And if we just learn how to communicate,
A lot
it
of
would
these
be better.
issues is based on upbringing.
Yeah.
All right. So that will move to the second part of this question.
Yeah.
All right. And it's stating, are we training our sons to be tough and not address emotional trauma, which leads them to failed relationships? Basically, you got these mothers. I'm going to say mothers because you got a lot of single family homes, but mothers are usually raising them, and even the ones with the fathers. But we're raising the sons not to necessarily value a woman or know how to deal in certain situations within relationships, right? So is that trauma affecting them and just causing a cycle?
And not teaching them how to talk shit out. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of men, to piggyback on what he's saying, a lot of men either just know how to talk to a woman to try to game her or to tell her, this is what I want. But there gotta be other conversations too. It's to know what you need. How can I be a better? How can we communicate better? How can our relationship be better? You know what I'm saying? If Cliff was here, Cliff was just like, you got to do the report card. You know what I'm saying? But it's true. We have to teach our
Check
boys
in.
how to talk to women, not necessarily to gain them out of their panties or to tell them, this, I'm a man, this is what you need to do. We have to have communication. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like a lot of times, you know, black boys are taught like, oh, you can't be in your emotions. You got to be strong. If that's bothering you, suck it up.
Because
Suck it
that's
up.
what they were taught.
But
So
it's, but how do we how and you a black woman, so I want you to, you know, give your opinion on this. How could we say, you know, we get the Lonnie Loves of black men don't know how to do this or black stuff like that? We need the black men to be taught that it's okay to be emotional. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily act completely on emotion, but be able to express your emotions. Be able to be like, you know what, I'm sad about this. This bothers me. And talk it out. A lot of times we don't give them venues for that.
I think the generation growing up now is doing better with expressing themselves now. Things that's going on in school, different programs, social media. It's a lot of things that kind of pushes the children nowadays. So before, the generation before teaches you got to be tough, you got to be touched. But I think but the kids that are coming up now, I think that they would know how to communicate a little bit better.
They're very emotional now, these kids. But this makes me think of something I heard on the radio once again, and it's spot on, and it affected me because I know I thought like this at one point, and what was said was what happens with our sons and with our boys coming up, if they're not being taught by their parents, mother, father, or whatever, how to value the person that they're in a relationship with and how to treat them, you know where they're learning it? They're learning it from their boys. They're learning it from the people they hang out with who are saying, well, oh, you got to smash this one and that one, and then it becomes multiple. I got to get more than one woman to be like about something. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that it becomes then, I don't know how to value a woman, just me and her in a relationship.
Right.
It's, oh, I got to do more than that. I got to have this one and that one. And we're learning from each other at young ages how to function and how to be successful as far as not even just in relationships, but successful in life. Yeah. You're like, oh, well, you got to have more than one chick. You can't just have one girl. That ain't doing nothing. You whack. You know what I mean? This is what is happening. This is young boys telling each other how to carry on and be in relationships because we're not speaking to them.
Young boys, this morning, they were sitting in the back, and they had their phones. One of the boys said, he's just mad because I get more girls than him.
But
you see?
But we also have
That's
to
exactly
teach.
what I'm talking about.
And it made me feel away because I'm like, don't let him put that in your head to make you feel like now you have to do things to feel validated. I was like, oh.
And the crazy part about it is, the majority of the time these kids are lying. You trying to compete with Mike because Mike already slept with 20 women. Mike lying about half of the 20 women that he said he slept with.
I did not lie.
No, I'm using you as an example.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah. Because it's just like, yo, we also have to teach our young black boys, and it's not exclusive. I want to first say it's not exclusive to young black boys, but that's my concern. Mm-hmm. We have to teach young men in general that your value is not in your conquest in women.
Yes. That's the problem.
You're not more valuable like because you slept with X amount of people.
The conquest part of it.
But
we feel like I have to conquer her, right?
Yeah.
That validates me, because I conquered her, in some kind of way. That's the thinking, and I didn't realize until I'm flawed in that I'm a Cancer and I'm a lover.
I'm
a lover.
Open shirt, Poppy.
So I just can't. Don't get me wrong. You know, I love multiple women, different styles of women, whatever. I just love women in general. But I'm an emotional lover, so if I can find one woman that makes me feel a certain way, I'm drawn to her and I'm locked in with her. And I don't necessarily feel the need to just date this one and date that one to impress whoever. Because I'm not about impressing other people. Yeah. I'm about what makes me happy. Yeah. Right? And that's the problem with the youngins coming up. Like you were saying, oh, I got more girls than her. No, it's not about that. You know, but are they being taught? It's okay to love one woman. Yeah.
And that's what I wanted to pull him aside to say, don't let him get to your head. You keep being who you are. Because it plants a seed, and then now he goes out there feeling like, he start questioning himself.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you can have something good at home and decide that you need more.
Like, what are they talking about?
Another thing that we had to also let the young men know that, like, this mentality of the conquest, keep it moving, stuff like that. If you grew up in a single-parent home where it was just your moms, somebody was with your mom and then decided not to stay. Why would you turn around and perpetuate that same thing?
But sometimes it's learned. You can't help it. It's just within a person. What did you just say? Like, why if you saw your mom was left, why would you turn around and leave a woman and do the same thing?
Do the same thing.
That's toxic behavior. You're hurt and you didn't deal with the inner issue. Yeah. You were traumatized by what happened, and then you wind up doing the same thing, not really wanting to do it.
But we need to actually motivate the young man to say, like, you know what, the father that you felt you missed, you need to become.
Be that.
Then you have men
the
that
husband you felt
that
your mom should have
way.
had. No, that's what I'm saying, and that's the thing we need to push. But to get back to the whole Lonnie Love and stuff like that, we need to not destroy our image and the mentality of what we're trying to accomplish. To paint with these wide brushes. Let me get to the last question on this topic. Mm-hmm. Okay, and it kind of it goes to the relationship portion. Are we cheating on each other because we really aren't talking to each other, but rather talking at each other? Because a lot of times, I'm going to be honest with you. When I speak to men and the men, especially men past a certain age, right? Like, I'm gonna be honest. When you're younger, your 19s, you know, your late
20s.
teens, early 20s, it is the conquest mentality. You get a little older and you realize, okay, I've been around the block and stuff like that, and then it doesn't. Cheating, they say it's a young man's game, but older men still cheat too. And then when you speak to the older men who know a little better, got a little wisdom under their belt, like, why are you cheating? It's like, yo, I don't got no peace at home. She don't respect me. So I go out there looking for that peace and respect. And I say that, you know, I feel you on that, but at the same time, you're not doing it the right way. But it comes back to this. Are we out here cheating because the person we with, we're not talking to them, we're talking at them? Because if I'm talking at you, you feeling that energy, you're going to return that energy.
It depends on the situation.
Okay.
You know, some people, they're not listening. We don't have good listening skills. When you're arguing, you just want to make your point, get your point across, but you're not actually listening to what the other person needs.
Yeah.
It depends. But why do most people cheat? You know, you cheat because you're missing something at home and you go and get it. But then a lot of people are not missing something at home. You have somebody that's giving you your all. You're missing something within yourself that you didn't work on getting whole within yourself before you got in a relationship. That inner work. Like, there we go again with the inner work. You didn't do the inner work before you got into the relationship. You thought the relationship was going to make you whole. You wanted what everybody else had, you know, to get the family and everything, the dream, but you didn't do the inner work. So it depends on the situation, and there's a lot of angles we can go with that.
Majority of the
situation. But
time,
people are not. We don't listen to each other.
Yeah.
majority of the time, when someone cheats, it's not because of their spouse. It's because of them, right? Whatever is going on with them internally. Unfortunately, I can speak to this firsthand, right? I'll say majority of the time when I have cheated in a relationship, it was because something wasn't right with me, and I either didn't know how to properly communicate that to the person I was with, or I just chose not to. You know what I mean?
Why did you keep them around?
Something else came about. Well,
Kept them around for.
I kept them around because that's the safe space, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This thing I'm doing right now is risky business. It can go one or two ways. You know what I mean? But this is, I know, I already got this. This is solid. Even though this is not making me happy, it's solid. I can still fall back on that. But the thing was, yeah, I say probably maybe one of the times it was because of the other person.
Yeah.
Like, they just really wasn't right, and I just didn't want to stay in the situation. And I should have probably ended it, but instead I went out and cheated.
If I could say this with, you know, people cheating because they're not being heard at home and kind of feel ignored and stuff like that. If I could give one advice for people 2020, stop arguing to win an argument and argue to get your point across. Because sometimes you have these arguments and then something said that changes the relationship forever. And once it's said, you can say sorry, but you hurt the person in a way it's just like, damn.
Or they don't trust you anymore.
They don't trust you anymore.
They won't be vulnerable with you anymore, so they put this guard up because.
And then now you're in a relationship with a whole nother person because you scarred them. And why did you say that? It wasn't something that you wanted to get your point across. You just knew it was gonna hurt the person, and you wanted to win at that time.
Right.
And that's why when I argue with spouses and certain people like that, I don't argue to win. I don't argue to show you I'm better than you or I know stuff like that. I argue to be like, yo, this is hurting me, and I got to let you know this, right? Because you don't win. Trust me. Fellas, you don't win when you make your woman feel small and then try to say sorry later, because that's when the dude who never made her feel small seems a little more appealing.
Right.
And you don't win when you arguing to win. Because it's
Yeah.
not a win-lose type of situation.
That's not what
It's a
arguing is.
discussion
in a
where-
relationship anyway. You shouldn't be competing.
No, I want you to understand me. You want me to understand you. So there is no winner and loser. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If it's a situation y'all arguing and you just like, oh, I gotta be right, you know, which I don't want to throw stones here, but it's usually a women thing where it's like women love to say, oh, I was right. You know, you should have listened to me. It's not about you being right or wrong.
Because
You
there's
know?
a lot of times you
Because-
gotta, when you really mature and you grow and you want the relationship to work, a lot of times you gotta humble yourself and let it go. You'll know you know that you're right, and you leave it alone, and then after a few weeks later, he'll be like, you know what, I was thinking. And he'll come to you. But that's hard to do. That takes maturity. Because before...
And that's part of the,
you can't
emotional
do that.
maturity that people need
But
to have.
when you humble yourself and swallow your pride and go, okay, he'll sit on it. And he'll think about it. If you really are right, and you're not in the wrong, he'll say, you know what, I was thinking, and it'll just come out of nowhere. The oddest place, and and that'll be his way of apologizing.
But if you badgering him and telling him all the time, I told you I was right. You should listen to me. Then he's like, I don't want to hear all that.
He's gonna do the opposite just because.
Just
you know
because.
what I'm saying?
He's not gonna say it, and that's from experience, from how I used to be, and I'm just learning. You got to do the inner work. Yeah. It doesn't matter how beautiful you are, how well you cook, how great your body is. If you don't do the inner work, it's not. You might get him, but you can't keep him. And that's just like for 2020. Everybody's talking about haters and got all these plans. You might get the open door and the opportunity, but you're not gonna keep it if you don't do the inner work. And I'm just speaking from experience, not anybody else. This is just something that I decided to work on for my 2020. It's gonna be a great year because it's just something special about entering into a new decade. It's gonna be a repeat, failed, whatever you had, or disappointments if you don't do the inner work.
And a lot of things is, we're equipped now with more information and examples. We can Google stuff, we can look things up and stuff like that. Like, use that. Use all the resources to your betterment. You know what I'm saying? Another thing I want to say, and then we're going to get to our next topic, which is a little spicier, is work on being happy first before you work on being in love. Because if you fall in love and you're not happy, that love is going to wither away. It's hard to stay in a relationship, effectively communicate if you're not happy. Because then you shrivel up, you don't communicate, it's all about you and stuff like that. So work on happy before you work on love. Everybody's looking for love, but they don't know how to be happy. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely on point, because you'll choose and make bad decisions on who you choose because you're not happy.
Because you just want to be in love.
Because you're desperate. And then a lot of people get desperate and don't realize that they're desperate. You start looking at your age. You start looking at social media and what everybody else is doing. A lot of, not only girls do it, the men do it too.
Oh, yeah.
The men are doing it too. And they're making bad decisions because they just are.
People getting in relationships
I always joke
for others to make them happy.
Yeah.
And that's never a good recipe.
You got to make yourself
be happy before.
You want to be happy with someone, but you got to be happy first. And also, you reach a certain age. I always joke about this and stuff like that. Once we start hitting our 40s and stuff, you got a good amount of quality erections left in you, my G. We kind of wither down before women do. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, don't let Viagra, don't let that Viagra stuff fool you and stuff like that. Nobody wants to be on drugs to get an erection, B. That's like the worst. I mean, people do it because they have to do it, but you want to have your natural erections versus being on drugs for them.
But that's where good health comes in. You got to keep yourself healthy.
Yeah,
right. That's part of the inner work.
Nutrigenics.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But all right, so we're gonna.
I wanted to say one more thing about the 2020, but I didn't lose.
I'll come back to you.
It'll come back.
All right. So the next thing is sex therapy, right? And the reason why sex therapy is you got to think about it, right? Because how many times have you just been all worked up and stuff like that, and it's just like you have a good sex session, and that completely relieves a lot of the stress, a lot of the anguish, a lot of fear and stuff like that. There's hormones and endorphins that's released during sex that chemically
you need it.
Allows you to be a better person. So
allows you to be a better person.
It allows you to be a better person, right? Because if you walk around all wound
homicidal
up
killers is not out there getting
that,
laid. I'm just telling you.
It affects your communication with people and stuff like that. So I'm telling you, how many times, and it's wrong to say that you dealt with a miserable person at work, and you're like, I know they're not getting laid.
Nope.
Just because of how
you
miserable
can't be that miserable
they are.
If you're getting taken care of. After a good session the night before,
you
go to work
right.
I'm tired,
it's
but
just a temporary fix.
You
that's
know.
All.
But you need that to get through the week sometimes.
Temporary
so
fix.
the first question is, can no-string sex be a release in therapy? We're going to have Open Shirt Poppy talk about this first, because this is like, his world.
Whoa. What
does that
mean?
I didn't mean it in the shady way. I didn't mean it in the shady way.
That's shady, bro. And I do not do that anymore. No string sex. Can it be release, or what do you mean? Can it be?
You know, you have sex with the person. You know, there's chemistry there, but there may not be. You can have chemistry and not feelings. So I'm saying
It depends on what you're looking
it-
for. No
Yeah.
strings sex can definitely be a
You can't have
band-aid.
chemistry and no feelings.
It can be a big
You
band-aid.
gotta have feelings for the person to have.
No, I need to have
chemistry.
feelings.
You can have chemistry with someone and just don't have feelings. Sometimes I've been in
No,
situations
you can-
where
There's a certain level of
attracted
feelings.
to the
There's
person.
a certain level
Certain
of
level of
feelings that
feelings.
come with that
But there's-
chemistry.
No,
I've had
feelings come
situations
with that.
in the past, especially in my college age and stuff like that, was just like, you know what? I was so attracted to the person really liked me, but we
you're
knew
speaking-
we wasn't going to be in a relationship.
You're speaking
We
on
wasn't trying to be in a
lust.
relationship.
You're speaking on lust. That's not chemistry.
Oh, you just
Lust
had a lot of
and
Wait a
chemistry
minute, wait
is
a
not the
minute.
same thing.
Chemistry could be a beautiful thing, but you can have chemistry with someone that you're never gonna love. So why is that lust?
Yeah,
You
that-
like
maybe
them a
that's-
lot, but you liking them is still a feeling.
Exactly, that's the
gonna
feeling.
be some
There's
type
gonna
of
be some
There's
feelings.
Be chemistry. That you
It
have
has to
you
be.
have to feel
Now I've
something.
had
So, honest question. With all the women that you've been with, you've always liked. No, I'm not saying it in it's like Mike's been with 1,000 women. I'm just asking you for your
You
opinion,
do it, you do it.
right?
What's the question?
So the question is, because you're saying it has to be every woman that you've laid down with,
have feelings
you've
for
had like feelings for them.
Yeah, I'm a Cancer. I'm based off
I don't
emotion.
believe it, B.
I'm based off emotion.
You
If I don't have any, let me tell you something.
You had
No,
nerves.
no,
If
no,
I
no,
don't
no,
have-
no.
hold
No,
on, hold
listen,
on.
I'm one of
Hold
the
on,
most
hold on.
emotional
Like the
people you
most
can
shit.
meet.
Hold on, let me
But
explain
I
something to
had-
you.
had
I'm gonna put myself
no
out
string
there.
sex.
I'm gonna put myself out there. If I don't have any emotional connection for you, I can't sleep with
That's
you.
a typical Cancer.
I can't. I'm telling
Ever?
you, I can't.
Ever?
I can't. I have
Woman
to
who's
have an
37 years
emotional
old
feeling.
now, I abide to that. 19, 20-year-old mom, I got it how I lived. And if you didn't want to kick it again, and you didn't want us to be booed up and shit like that, I was okay
The
with
reason
that.
what made, let me
You
tell you
gotta-
something.
I can't believe you wasn't okay with that in the
we're
past.
speaking of this. My high school sweetheart, who I love dearly, that was my first love. She
we see
was
that at the
not.
reunion.
She was not what people would call the most beautiful thing walking the face of the earth.
I can't
She was
believe you
pretty,
said that.
huh?
Why would you say that?
No, because I'm
But
telling.
it's
I'm
not
talking about
about
other
looks.
people. No, listen. I'm
Sometimes you
getting to a
can just
point.
be
That's
attract-
other people's
Does that make sense? You
opinion.
could be attracted
That's
to the
other
person,
people's
but they're
opinion.
not a
She
good-looking
was
person.
gorgeous. She was gorgeous. To me, I don't like. She might have had a halo over her head because that's how I
Yeah,
felt
yeah,
about
yeah.
her.
It
You
was
see what I'm
strong. I
saying?
remember it was strong.
So, and that is what led me to feeling. It wasn't because of. That's what I'm trying to get to. Is it wasn't a matter of, oh, look at her, she got this and she got that. It was the way I felt with her and our interactions. Emotionally, I connected with her, and then that made everything manifest into what it became. But that's my thing. Like, I'm not saying I got to be in love with everyone I lay down with, but I'm saying I have to have an emotional connection with you.
Yeah.
Like,
That's mature.
I've never had
I
no
just wasn't
one night
always in that mindset.
stand type of thing. Meet her at the club, y'all feeling each other, y'all vibing, and then you just sleep together. No, I don't know you. Did we have a conversation? I don't know you. You sexy, but I don't know you.
Yeah,
So-
that you never.
As-
look
as
at
a
never,
woman-
never. I get you gotta have feelings.
Never,
but
never.
never. Oh,
Never,
I'm sorry.
never.
You-
I
you-
don't know
I
you.
don't believe
I'm
it.
like,
but
hey, you coming from a man's
Yeah.
perspective?
I'll let him ride.
Let me
I'm
tell
not
you
gonna-
something.
I'm not gonna.
And I said this on the show
It's
before.
Cliff.
I've
He's like,
slept with
man.
somebody.
Yeah.
I've slept with somebody who I met off a wrong number.
Really?
We
You
we
like
met
the
off a
voice?
wrong number.
You
No,
like-
but what happened was we started talking, and we bonded over our conversation on the phone before I even met. Let me say, I didn't know how this girl looked.
You wouldn't even went
I
that
had
far. Oh,
no
I got the wrong
idea.
number. Okay,
No,
bye.
no, first time, yeah, I was like, you got the wrong number. Click, blah blah blah. Then she called back, and I'm like,
She like,
I
now
was
you the
at
right
work.
number.
I
Now
was at
this
work.
time you the right
I was
number.
bored.
And there you go.
I was like, you got the wrong number. The same person, but
what's up?
I don't got nothing else to do. Hey.
I want to bring it back because we're coming short of time. Can no string sex be a release in therapy? You answer
Yes.
that.
Answer.
It could be for certain, depending on the situation. Look at
It may
it's
not
always
be for
depend-
you, but I think it can be. I think if it's healthy, obviously it has to be two consenting adults. it has to be in a safe situation. But I also think that it's not bad to have that in your life, but it has to be communicated. It has to, the lines have to be
is
drawn.
always going to get involved in that. It's always going to turn messy when you have. What are you meaning, like friends with benefit type thing?
Friends with benefits to me implies that there's an established kind of connection already, and then you're trying to like dib and dabble. That's why to me friends with benefits don't work, because it's just like, what's the longevity of that?
It's going to be a problem.
It's going to be a problem because either the friendship get weird or the benefits gets weird. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to marry that concept completely. It's cool conceptually, but it's hard, right? Because if that's your friend and now they're giving it to you crazy, it's like how does that just stay a hey bud kind of stuff like that? And it's
but that can grow into something.
It can grow into something that she can't handle it.
It can grow into something because y'all had that friendship.
It always gets messy.
And I'm trying to be like new age with this next question and forward thinking. If they classify sex as health services and regulated, do you think it can help society? Like if we had, just like there's all kind of therapies, aromatherapy, yoga therapy. If we had sex therapy where it's just like, you know what? You go to these places, you have sex, it's in a clean environment, protected, people are tested and stuff like that, but to get that release
I'm the wrong person. Oh, that's just like having a whole bunch of orgies. You just like okay, everybody just go no.
But think about it. Think about the lonely serial killer.
No.
Who doesn't fit in, who is not accepted by his peers, who's now
who's
hated,
antisocial, who's
being
awkward.
bullied, right? So then he say, "Hey, you can go to this place, meet some nice girl, y'all have intercourse. I don't know about you, but once you get that release,
you ain't thinking about killing nobody.
I ain't thinking about killing nobody. Nobody. So that's the thing I'm saying.
Even when that's why
helpful.
That's
it
why
can be helpful.
And I'm the one you need greedy gut here. I'm the one. My whole perspective on certain things is just totally different.
Just like being in a relationship, having arguments and being mad and then make up sex. You forget what the hell y'all was arguing about.
Because you know the person, but not some strange person.
But no.
But
it's
the
not
concept
because
is
you know
the
the person.
same.
It's because those few minutes
and you already have a connection
after
with
you
them.
release, those few minutes is just like
life is good.
Life is good. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
So
and then you
I
go
know
from
women
there.
who say they'll start arguments with their men just so they can have hiding argument, make up sex.
For the thrill, the
But
whole,
I'm talking about society thing. I think that would reduce serial killers.
I do.
Serial killers,
rapists,
rapists, molesters, a lot of these things, if we had professional sex services, it reduces a lot of these things. A lot of these sexually related kind of, crimes and things like that, if there was such a thing as sex therapy that was regulated.
There is sex therapy, isn't there?
It's not legal. I don't know if there's a legal sex therapy.
Oh, no, it's usually for couples, sex therapy.
Yeah, but that's different.
They have groups and couple groups.
That's still part of regular therapy when
What's
it's just like sex
swingers,
is the issue.
Swingers? They still call them swingers?
No,
so you're not for regulated sex therapy.
Polyamorous.
I am for regulated sex therapy. If it was a health service,
I think it would help.
I think it would help.
I think it would help.
Think about all the times where you read a story about a serial killer.
The serial killer gonna murder her in there.
No, but
she don't want to move.
It's regulated. There's cameras and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, anything could happen. Like there's crazy stories about a kid. Sidebar: a kid in school who shoots up the school. Right? You don't think that's a place for that to happen, but that's outliers. You know what I'm saying? But is this place? How many serial killers is like? Oh, he's always been awkward, didn't know how to talk to a woman, and then they become stalkers. And then they become these sexual predators and stuff like that, right?
It starts somewhere.
Situation like that, sex therapy, sex services and stuff like that, it's the oldest profession. You know what I'm saying? I think if it's regulated, it could be a good thing. All right, so let me ask last
We're going to
question
agree to
sex
disagree
therapy.
since...
Y'all knew, Marv already knew I was going to be like, what?
Come on, man.
Sex therapy, the mentality with sex is the last question. Do you think a troubled mind is the leading cause of bad sex?
A troubled mind.
Yeah.
It can be, and the reason I say that is because, listen, I'll put myself out there. I mean, I usually perform in the top notch, but I've had some bad performances, and usually when I perform badly, it's because I'm thinking too much.
Distracted.
I'm thinking
Stress.
about things, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that thinking then affects my performance instead of just being in the moment and enjoying whatever I'm got going on. Your mind can play tricks on you, as
Yeah.
Bushwick Bill said.
Yeah.
And
So that's the thing.
That's only because you're an emotional person. But when you have somebody that can, like when we were talking about before, saying you can sleep with somebody without having feelings, they can do it and perform well and be great at it. And the girl would be like, or vice versa. Well, what happened to them? They were so great. They were fine, and they weren't fine because they're just like so cut off. But you're emotional, so it's like, man, I can't. I don't feel
It's
it.
like thinking.
Now you made me go back. I still can't believe you're saying you can't sleep with someone because
my
attraction doesn't mean feeling. So Rihanna pull up like, yo, Mike, I've been watching Views from the Friend Zone. I like open
Let
shirt
me tell you
Poppy.
what's gonna happen.
I'm having you just for the night, and
Let
then
me
you
tell you
bounce.
what's
You're
gonna
not,
happen.
you're not gonna be able to perform.
Let me tell you what's gonna
Answer
happen.
that question.
Let me. I might not, cause I'll be like, damn, Rihanna's sexy as fuck. So I might get aroused with us dancing and her working on me.
Yeah.
And then when it come down to doing it, I'm like, you don't really like me, really. I don't think you really like me. You just
Because he wants to connect. Like,
yeah, I want to
some type
connect.
of
Now, if she's
connection.
good at playing the role, and she was like, ooh, she start talking that sweet stuff in my ear, then I'm
Come on,
like,
face.
she really likes me. I need that. I'm different. I need that. I can't have you being like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I just need
get
something
it.
for the night. Give it to me, because it's you. No, you don't. I'm
I
telling you, I got
100%
experience with it. It didn't work.
I 100% believe. Like me, I can't. I've left a lot of situations on the table because I wasn't attracted, I wasn't feeling it, and I just couldn't do it. I get that 100%, but for me to say that I could never sleep with someone that I didn't have like feelings for,
My G,
Even girls do
my
that.
G, my G.
You know
Let me
what
tell
I'm
you
saying?
something. My G, this is the worst feeling. The worst feeling is when you have a chick who you want to sleep with, right? You like, damn, she bad. You want to sleep with, and you get the opportunity to sleep with her,
Freeze.
and you just don't function properly.
Nervous wreck.
It don't function
you
properly.
be in your head sometimes.
You be in your head, but
Especially when you was like, damn,
but
I've been wanting this kind of stuff. like
yes, but with me, a lot of times it comes with, like, we don't have that connection. We don't have that emotional connection. Yeah, I think you bad. You want, you know what I'm saying? And now you saying you want to put it down, but
that. I've
You don't
caught
have
a
that
So
couple.
you're
connection.
one of those that, you want to see how intelligent she is. You want to talk
not
to
even
her,
just how
see what
intelligent.
she
I'm
I
is.
just
attracted
want
to
to see.
intelligence.
I want to see
That's
how
what
we
we
get.
vibe.
That's what
Yeah,
we get.
that's definitely. I want to see how we vibe. Our energy. Energy is a big deal to me. Energy. If your energy
Me too.
ain't right, I'm like, okay, this ain't gonna work. And then I start overthinking.
Yeah.
The worst thing you could do is like you overthink.
Overthink.
You know, or it's a situation where you like, damn, I want to put on a good show for her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you like, you know, I got to make sure I'm top notch. Overthinking.
Yeah.
So it's like,
And that's when you freeze.
you know, or it's like I ain't gonna lie, and this is a bad feeling. You're gonna think I'm fronting with this, but women be using guys. Women be
Of course,
using dudes.
people are
like,
users.
oh,
It's
he's-
not women. It's
he's
everybody's
here.
users.
He's here now, so I'm horny. Let me just give him something. He can pleasure.
I'm not even.
I don't want to be used.
Listen. I'm not even gonna hold
And a lot
you.
of women don't realize that a lot of men don't want to be used.
They think all dudes
They
are just
think,
like, oh, he
like,
just want this.
whatever.
In my-
He
in
just
my-
want this pussy.
in my whole
No,
lifetime-
it's not about that.
I've got conquest because I was a funny dude. I've got conquest because I was the one who answered the phone. I got conquest because I was just a cool dude and they wanted to just.
Somebody
So you're
talk.
good. You're good, and you have no problem performing.
This was the
even
past.
if hold on, even if you know, like she ain't really into me like that, but I could laugh her out these panties, or I can.
She can't unfuck me.
He didn't care. He just was
Are you
trying to
kidding
get.
me?
He
She
didn't
She
care.
can't unfuck
He
me.
didn't care. He just was like, you know
Now
what,
I'm
let me-
older, but what we're talking about in our early 20s, I can't believe it how picky you are.
Picky.
He said he was
I got
emotional.
standards, man.
Okay, so let's move on to the last topic.
How
The last
picky.
topic is asking for help. right? And I think a lot of times, especially people of color, sometimes we struggle with asking for help. Well, albeit in our business, albeit in our career, albeit in life, relationships, etc. For some reason, everybody do it. But you know what I'm saying? Sometimes people in color, sometimes we're too proud to network and ask for help. And sometimes it affects us relationship, career-wise, personally. So I just, part of the enlightening yourself in 2020, asking for help, having that conversation. And the first question is, do you think the black community struggles with asking each other for help?
Yes.
And why is it? Because I feel like, me personally, it's bad for me to ask you a question and get caveats. So let me let you answer
Pride.
it, then I give you mine.
Yeah, definitely. That's it right there. Pride. And I'm just going to speak for me personally. I'm probably put myself out there, but you don't want to give the person, you have a vision and you have a dream. I had to learn change, but this was the issue. I don't want you to be the one to say that your business was nothing until I put you on.
Yeah.
People do that.
Yeah.
And you have to pick the right people who want to connect with you, that want to see you grow, that won't do that to you. So you have to be vulnerable enough to trust somebody that you believe that they support your vision and they're for you. Because it'd be, they wasn't until I. And so people kind of shy away from it. And then you have those that feel like, they have a control issue and they want to do everything on their own,
That's
but
still ego and pride.
it's pride.
Yeah.
I struggled with that. There was a situation where I needed help and I refused to give that person for her to say it wasn't blah, blah, blah until I helped her.
Yeah.
And I just needed to humble myself.
Did you know that she was the type of person that would do that?
Yeah.
Well, see, that's where it comes.
But you needed that, you needed that, you needed the help, so
But
you try to find
people
different
like that are setting themselves up for failure, right? Because
Definitely.
people can't wait for you to fall when you like that. You know what I'm saying? You burning bridges, you destroying the ladder as soon as you climb. But people can't. And to me, that's why. To me, my thing is we have to learn to ask for help because guess what? And if we just think psychologically, as a whole, especially people in this country, because of slavery, because of lack of resources, we're behind the 8 ball anyway. We start the race in the very back.
Yeah.
So why compete amongst each other and not ask each other for help, especially when we know that this person can help you, give
Not
you
even
advice?
competing, just finding the right help. That was then.
Mhm.
Like I said, doing the inner work. I'm working on myself and learning who to surround yourself by.
Yeah.
There are some people that you are supposed to meet that are supposed to help you,
Yeah.
and you're supposed to help them, that they can see, like, I see where you're going, I can see your vision, and I see where you need help.
Yeah.
And you have to be vulnerable enough to let them help you and trust them enough to go ahead and help you run with the
Let
vision.
me ask you a further deeper question. When you think about the Harvey Weinsteins and the Bill Cosbys and the R. Kellys, and the reason why I'm bringing these people up is a lot of times under the guise of help to women, these people preyed on these women. So as a woman, are you reluctant to ask a man for help because of the fear of those kind of situations?
Well, that just comes with good judgment. You got to be able to discern. You have to know who's who and what's what. At first, you might feel like the person has good intentions, and then the more you speak to them, if you're around them, you'll pick up that they want more.
Yeah.
Or they're trying to get over on you, want to charge you more, or they might want something for something, So it comes, it depends on the situation, it depends on the person. But that can happen in the music business if you're talking about the music industry.
Yeah. What
I think
entertainment in general?
I think it's twofold. A lot of times in our communities, people want to be able to say, I did this myself. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody helped me.
I'm self-made.
I did
That's the
this.
biggest thing in the black community.
Yeah.
I'm self-made.
I did this
That was
myself.
me 2 years
So
ago.
they feel like asking for help is a sign of weakness. And it's not at all. You know what I mean? So I think that's what comes a lot into play. People feel like I'm showing weakness, or I can't do it without so-and-so. You know what I mean? I need help. We all need help.
Yeah, but
We do.
And I piggyback on what you're saying, and I wanna say that to anybody listening. The biggest sign of strength to me is asking for help, because instead of struggling and staying where I'm at, I said, you know what? Time is too short. Life is too short. I'm going to get help, whether it be mental health, whether it be help in my career, whether it be physical help. Like, for instance, with me trying to lose weight, I have a virtual trainer, right? Because me going to the gym by myself, It wasn't working. I needed help.
Just think about
Career-wise.
it. Just think about it. Not to cut you off.
Yeah.
All the shows where people are accepting awards and getting accolades or whatever, they're always thanking somebody.
Because they helped them along the
Yeah,
way.
because nobody does it by themselves.
can't
do
You
it
don't do it by yourself.
Yeah.
It's always somebody there to help you.
Yeah.
At least the most successful people, whether it be a trainer, whether it be your pastor, whether it be a family member, whether it be a spouse, somebody's helping you
Can't do
Yeah.
anything
because
alone.
you can't.
Yeah. So this thinking that, you know what, I'm gonna start a business and I'm gonna be Michael Jordan at my business the first step out. It's a false narrative. We need help. Whether it be people promoting your business, whether it be people giving you advice, career wise and stuff like that. Help is not help is a 4-letter word, but we need to stop treating it like a 4-letter word, especially in our community, right? Because like I said, we have lack of resources. I was reading a article the other day. It said that with the same credit score and the same revenue, black businesses get denied for loans at a higher clip. You could be doing the same numbers as a white business or a non-black business,
And
the
why is
same
that?
credit score, same background, and will get denied loans.
Why is that?
Why is that?
It's because it's the relationship business, right? Because and I work for a financial institution, and I'm not speaking on behalf of my financial institution. I'm speaking of the mentality. Even though numbers are supposed to be numbers, it's still a relationship business. So if I have the money and the power, and I see someone who looks like me who needs the help, I'm going to push them over the thing. But when I see someone who doesn't look like me and I don't have the relationship with, I'm safeguarding, saying, you know what, I can't take a chance and lose with this person. Even though the same criteria comes across the table, it's relationship
And
regardless.
that's why
Even though
we
the
have,
number's supposed
and
to be the
that's why we
truth,
have
it
affirmative
doesn't.
action, because that's factual. That's factual. You have the same. You have the same. What is it? You know the one I'm thinking of. Experience, or you have the same credentials. Exactly.
Credentials,
You
yeah.
have the same credentials
I was
as
trying
somebody else. You know what I was talking about.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. But then you get overlooked
Yeah.
because of what?
They're talking
There's
about
only
that
one thing.
sidebar, the NFL situation with black
With
coaches,
the coaches
and stuff
and
like
stuff,
that.
right?
There's something
It's
called
crazy.
the Rooney Rule, but all you have to
crazy.
do is just bring a person of color into your facility. Not a real interview, not really a
real
really
interview.
chance and stuff like that. And don't get it twisted. Affirmative action help, but the biggest beneficiary from affirmative action has been white women. Because white women will clear enough just for them to enter the criteria of. Now they're changing it, altering it for it has to be a person of color. But white women were the biggest benefits of affirmative action. You know what I'm saying? Because that's an underrepresented, at the time of business, an underrepresented population.
Demographic. Oh, yeah.
All right, so the next question with
That's
asking for
good.
help is, are we stuck competing with each other instead of worrying about flourishing?
Crabs
Because
in the barrel.
sometimes, you know what? Doing business with someone or having somebody help you out and stuff like that, it's a win-win. But then, like you said, there's the fear of someone saying, yo, your shit was aight till I showed up.
Right.
Now your shit is popping.
But that's when I had to work on me. And when you become confident in yourself and what you bring to the table, that's no longer an issue. You know, it was in the work. We keep going back to that in the work. Everybody gonna get some therapy.
Yeah. But to me, it's just like I don't get the competition thing. Like, you know, a lot of times people are saying, I hear a lot of people saying everybody got a podcast. I'm like, cool, because guess what? Everybody make food. Everybody got clothes.
How many different
And
styles of cars?
I
and models of
don't
cars
need
there is?
all 7 billion people in the world to listen to my podcast. But if I could get 50,000 to 100,000 people, which is a small segment of the whole world, listen to my shit, I'm doing all
Good.
right.
It's not
Good.
even about that. God gave you the vision, and that means He set the audience for you for how you're supposed to reach them.
Yeah.
So you're not supposed to reach everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody's not gonna like. What
And
you
I
bring
love
to
to
the
cross
table,
promote.
and that's okay.
I love the cross promote. So if someone has a podcast, I'm like, yo, you want to do my podcast? I'll do your podcast.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Introduce your people to my people, introduce my people to people.
That's
That
how
says
you
something
should do
about
it.
your
That's the way to
character.
do it.
That says something about who you are. But when you have,
And if I
everybody
see you
can't do
working,
that.
I want to help you. Like, I'm not there, but if I see you working, I'm like, yo, your work motivates me to do better. So you know what I'm saying? If I can help you in a way,
Yeah,
I'm
this
gonna do it.
guy, even
He's
some
so
of our
good.
past guests and stuff, he went and supported or whatever.
Yo, I be at people's shows.
Even when it was kind of questionable.
I be at people's shows.
Marv will
I don't
support
question-
you.
Listen,
Marv will support you.
it's not my place to tell in this world to be like, you got the talent, you don't got the talent, stuff like that. People work, you support. I do the same.
But you
thing.
was a
out here
judge.
for
You was
everything. You know
a
what I'm saying?
judge, so you was doing that. As
Huh?
a judge, you was doing that.
Yeah.
You got the talent. You don't have the talent.
No, but at the same time, when you're forced to be in a judgment kind of situation, I am. If I go, oh, Mike has this ability and this person doesn't have the ability, but I'm gonna give them a tie because I don't want to hurt their feelings. I'm doing both of them a disservice.
That's
Yeah.
right. You have
So
to
sometimes
point out
people
where
need to
people
just
grow.
tell you like, yo, it wasn't as good as it should have been, but this is what you should do. I'm never gonna shit on you and not give you constructive criticism.
Because you're not gonna know what to fix if somebody don't tell you. You have to know.
Yeah.
You're thinking, oh, I did good. No, let me know what I messed up.
Exactly.
I can work
Work on
on
this.
it.
So the last question is, why do you feel? What do you do if you feel like you can't ask your own partner for help? This is tough because it took in my relationship, my marriage. It took being able to ask my wife for help for certain things. It was tough,
I got a simple
especially as a
answer,
man.
but it's not right.
But I learned to do that, and now we flourish, right? Because she see when I need help, and vice versa. And it's just like it's not a pride thing; it's about us winning. So why do you feel like sometimes people struggle to ask their partners for help?
They didn't take care of something while they were dating. Isn't that a part of when you meeting each other, you become friends, you're learning each other? You get to the point where you want to get married because you're comfortable. Well, you're supposed to be. That's supposed to be one. You trust them. You're comfortable with them. So if they are in that predicament when you're married, something went wrong during the dating process, the courting process. You missed something. Y'all
You
just
missed something.
yeah.
What do you think? Why do you think people struggle to ask their partners for help?
Well,
Besides
getting
the
back to
pride.
what you were saying initially, if I struggle to ask my partner for help, then that relationship is ending.
Yeah.
Because I got to be comfortable enough to say, And I understand. I think with men it's probably a little tougher because we have a
Supposed
certain
to be
level of pride.
providers, and we're supposed to.
Yeah,
be.
we're supposed to be providers. We're supposed to be taking care of the home and everyone. So asking your spouse or something for help, you feel like, oh man, am I not? She might look at me crazy, like,
Yeah.
you need my help? Like, what's wrong with you? But honestly, as I grow and mature, I realize a woman is not going to criticize you for asking for help, especially if that's the woman for you.
A wife
Yeah.
is a help
wi-
meet.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
That's what God said. So she's your help. So even though He created you to be a provider, when you can't,
But you
she's
know what happens?
your help
You
in
know what
whatever
happens with
area
men?
she needs.
You
to
know what
help you
happens with men, and I can say this too. I'm like, well, I gotta ask you. You
She
see
should
me
know.
struggling. You should know. But I can't. You can't put that
No.
on her. You know what
Because
I'm saying? Because
she-
she
she
might
might-
know, but she was like, I'm gonna let him do what he needs to do. or
She
what
might
he
not
wants
want to
to do.
bruise your ego. She might want to
Yeah.
see what you're willing to do without
Yeah.
her, and then step in when you can. You know what
Or
I'm saying?
she's saying, I'll just wait for him to ask
But
me
it
for that
de-
help.
It depends on
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
But you
should
said
be
something key.
comfortable enough.
You said something key. If my wife can't help me with my vision and part of my goals and stuff like that, then why she there? And vice versa.
She got to be your biggest cheerleader.
Mm-hmm.
You know
She
what I'm
has to
saying?
be your biggest cheerleader when you question yourself, when you have moments where you feel like giving up or you're not sure she's supposed to be on it. Even if she don't even like it. Like if you had a clothing line or whatever it is you might want to promote or sell, and she's like, I don't really like it. She's still going to go with you and support you and find the good in it and run with it. Okay, people might need it because of this and because of that. That's where she is a help. She's a help, maybe not financially, but she can help you with just being encouragement.
Yeah.
The support
And,
that you need.
and
in
that's
that
the key
way.
thing. I want to wrap up the show saying this. It's like, yo, help, especially from your spouse and stuff like that. If you want people to help, you got to be transparent. Because sometimes we don't get help from people around us because we telling them half a story. We giving people lies. We fronting about certain stuff. Like, yo,
Yeah,
I got
this
all of this
album
going
coming
on.
out.
And then
I'm
you need
working
help
on
with
this
something
project.
that don't add up. That's why people don't, you know what I'm saying? But if you tell the full story, you transparent, then help should be something that
I've
people
been
are willing to
guilty
give.
of not being open enough.
Yeah.
Like, I like to deal with all of my struggles myself.
Yeah.
And that's just my problem.
You're
I
just
don't be
taking a
fronting.
longer way.
I
You're
just
taking
try
a
to do
longer
it
way.
all myself, and I probably could get a little further, a little faster if I was saying, well, I need help.
Mhm.
So
And that's the
Yeah.
key, man. Don't be afraid to ask for help, man. So this was the end of another good episode.
we back, baby.
Yeah, so,
We We back.
Michelle, give your shout outs and stuff, how people could follow you, reach out to you and stuff like that, what you got going on.
I don't want to give a shout out to anybody.
You don't have to.
I thought you were working on yourself.
Shout out to
Shout
yourself.
out yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want to give a shout out to nobody. You got no love in 2020.
I couldn't think of anything live TV. But you can find me on Instagram, Miss Nook, at Miss Nook.
Okay.
Gosh.
She ain't got no love for nobody.
What
Well,
about you?
I want to start off. I got to start off. I'll be killed. I'm gonna wish my mom a happy birthday today. Today
Yes,
is her
yes, yes.
birthday. All right. You know, she gave birth to me, so it's much love to mama. Shout out to all our fans, like I always do. Keep supporting us the way y'all have been for so long. We love y'all. Shout out all my peoples that's out there doing it for themselves and trying to do something new and different and just chasing their dreams. One of which I speak of is a good friend of mine. If y'all like good pastries and good desserts and you need a bomb ass cake or whatever, MJ Rose _creations. MJ Rose _creations. Hit my girl Mary up. She got some delicious pastries for you for any occasion. She'll hook it up just how you like. And just keep doing what you're doing, man. It's a new year, so as always, we want to, you know, change things and look upward and go forward. But do what you've been doing. If you ain't been doing the right thing in 2019, don't think the new year is going to change your mindset, all right? But if you can, yeah, change your mindset. Let's do something big this year. And we back!
Yeah.
We back!
Let me give a quick shout outs before we head out. I want to shout out, like Mike said, everybody listening to us globally. We have a lot of presence in Africa and Haiti and stuff like that.
Shout them
So I really
out.
appreciate that.
Overseas
shout
love.
out to my fellow black creators, content creators. I want to shout out the Pregame Radio Network. They're celebrating 10 years of doing their thing, their
Yup.
vision. Shout out to Brooklyn Black. Shout out to the Realist Radio Show, also on Pregame Network. Shout out to Love, Peace, and Slander. You know, Alex and her crew and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Hey, you know, shout out Lit, BKNY, Braff and
We
his
do it at the
team.
end of every
You know, I
show.
just love black,
Braff,
you know, black
sure.
people doing their thing, creating content and stuff like that. So 2020, we're gonna, you know, link up, do certain things, and you know, peace and
Yeah.
blessings, man. This
Let's
is
do
the
it
year of
together
vision.
this year, baby.
We
Let's do
out.
it together.
Peace.
Views.